How to get your wife back when she wants a divorce. 5 signs you're doing it wrong. You're here because the air in your house has changed. Maybe it's been heavy for years, or maybe the floor just fell out from under you this morning. Either way, you're standing at the edge of a cliff looking at a woman you used to know better than anyone and realizing there is a massive silent canyon between you. You've probably spent the last 48 hours replaying every argument, scoring the internet for a magic phrase, and feeling a level of panic that makes it hard to draw a full breath. I know that feeling. It's a specific kind of internal chaos, a mix of rejection, failure, and a desperate, clawing need to fix everything right this second. You feel like if you could just find the right combination of words, or if you could just make her remember how good things were just a while ago, the nightmare would end. You're likely experiencing what psychologists call separation anxiety. In its most adult raw form, your brain is in fight or flight mode. You aren't sleeping, you aren't eating right, and every time she looks at her phone, your heart skips a beat because you're terrified she's texting a lawyer or someone else. You've had people in your ear giving you terrible advice. Your buddies might be telling you to lawyer up and hit the gym, or that she's just being emotional. Maybe your family is telling you to just be a man and put your foot down. You've heard the whispers that you are a pushover if you stay, or a failure if you leave. Some might even tell you that once a woman reaches the walk away stage, she's gone forever and you should just start over. It's easy for them to say, of course. They aren't the ones looking at a half empty closet or wondering how to explain this to the kids. But let's be honest about where you are. If you're here, it means the 3 C's of divorce: contempt, criticism, and counterattack have likely become the primary language of your home. You've been living in a war zone, or maybe a quiet storm, and you're trying to negotiate a peace treaty with the person who has already checked out of the embassy. Ouch. First sign you're doing this wrong: resisting the acceptance protocol. Right now, you're probably trying to argue with her feelings. You're telling her she's wrong to feel this way, or that things weren't that bad. Here's the strategic reality for you: you cannot negotiate a feeling. When she says she wants a divorce, that is her current reality. It doesn't have to be a forever reality. But if you fight it, you validate her reason for leaving. You make her feel like you don't hear her. The most powerful thing you can do right now is to simply acknowledge it, not agree with it, but acknowledge it. Heaven will not fall out of the sky because you stopped arguing. In fact, the moment you stop panicked negotiating, you stop the free fall of the attraction level in your relationship. Indifference, even if you have to fake it for a few days, is a stabilizer. It signals that you aren't going to collapse without her. And strangely enough, that is the first step toward making her look at you with respect again. This leads into a diagnostic audit. Second sign you're doing this wrong: trying to fix the symptoms. Most men try to fix the symptoms: the lack of sex, the late nights, the argument about money. But those are just the check engine light. The engine itself is the state of your union. You have to be man enough to look at the source of truth without flinching. Was there a slow rot of neglect? Did you stop being the leader she could rely on? Statistics from the CDC and various different social studies suggest that 70% of divorces are initiated by women, and a primary driver is the feeling of being emotionally alone while married. If you don't acknowledge the actual state of the marriage, you're just painting over rust, and you're moving in the wrong direction because you're using an old map for a road that has been washed away. Third sign you're doing this wrong: refusal to relinquish the ego. I see this all the time. Men who are driven by a version of tradition or culture that died decades ago. They want submission without providing the safety that earns it. They want the dinosaur age dynamic where the man's word is law simply because he wears the pants. If your strategy is rooted in "she should do what I say," you're going to lose her faster than you blink. Strategic surrender isn't about losing your balls. It's about losing the misguided parts of your ego that keep you from seeing her as a human being with her own agency. You can get exactly what you want, a loving, connected wife, but you won't get it by demanding it. You get it by becoming the kind of man a woman will be a fool to leave. Now, I want you to try this today. This is the 72-hour silence rule. For the next 3 days, I want you to stop all relationship talk. Don't ask where you stand. Don't apologize for the 20th time. And don't ask her how we can fix this. When you see her, be polite, be calm, and be brief. If she asks why you're being quiet, simply say, I'm just taking some time to reflect. This does two things. It stops the pursuer distancer dynamic where she runs because you're chasing, and it restores your dignity. It forces her to sit with the silence she thought she wanted. It's a small move, but it shifts the power dynamic from desperate to composed. That composure is what I call anchored authority. Fourth sign you're doing this wrong: losing your personal dignity. You've probably been begging, pleading, and maybe even crying in a way that feels more like a child than a partner. Listen to me. She cannot love you if she doesn't respect you. And she doesn't decide to respect you based on a logical argument. She mimics your level of self-respect. If you treat yourself like a discarded doormat, why would she treat you like a king? Rejection often breeds obsession, and that obsession leads you down a road where your self-respect dies a slow death. You need to be intentional here. Emotional intelligence needs to be the anchor of your intention. It means knowing that your value isn't tied to her approval. When you stand on your own 2 feet, even when you're hurting, you become an anchor. And anchors are the only thing that survive a storm. Finally, fifth sign you're doing this wrong: lack of individual sovereignty. You're likely so focused on getting her back that you have completely lost yourself. You've stopped your hobbies. You've stopped seeing your friends. Your entire mission in life has become to save the marriage. This is a massive mistake. Paradoxically, the best way to get her back is to stop trying to get her back and start trying to get yourself back. Think about the man she first fell in love with. He had a mission. He had confidence. He was a man of prestige in his own right. That man didn't live in a state of constant fear. When you reclaim your identity, when you start hitting the gym for you, working on your career for you, and finding peace for you, you become a magnetic force. There's a street of low quality men out there who are desperate, reactive, and weak. She's going to stumble into them. Don't live on that street. When you move to a higher level of self confidence, one where you know you'll be okay regardless of the outcome, you actually increase the chances of attracting her back. It's the ultimate irony of the psychology of influence. The less you need the outcome, the more likely you are to achieve it. We touched on this in our last video, Time to Divorce, the 5 stages of marital collapse, how to stop the clock. If you haven't seen that, you need to, because it explains the timeline you're currently on. You need to know if you're in stage 3 or stage 5 to know how much force to apply, and more importantly, towards what direction. But for today, I want you to look in the mirror. You are a man with a future, whether that future includes the specific woman or not. The moment you truly believe that, she will feel the shift in the air. She will see that you're no longer the man she was trying to escape, but a man who has reclaimed his throne. I want to hear from you in the comments. We've talked a lot about what the man needs to do, but I'm curious, what do you think the other side should have done differently if roles were reversed? Or if you look at the supporting characters in your life, where did the communication actually break down? Let's talk about it. This is Ola, Man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.